All right. All right. All right. All right. So, good evening, everybody. I hope you all having a good day or a good afternoon, whatever your time zone may be. So, this is Tiffany coming through here live in effect. And today I'm going to be dealing with the topic. Well, many people have asked questions about this. Okay. And so I happen to bring it onto the platform, and I'm going to bring a special guest on here. The question is, should Africans in the diaspora repatriate to Africa? And for those of you that don't know what the term repatriate means, that means to go back to the land of your ancestors. All right. To move back into the land. And I think this is like one of the most important topics to talk about. And the reason why I say that because we have those who have traveled to Africa to visit. There are those who are citizens living over there in the continent. Then there are those who don't think it's a good idea and they rather be here in America. So I'm going to bring my dear friend, my dear brother, and he has a channel called The Happy Companion. So brother Saeed and I is going to have a dialogue about this, and he's going to give me his point of view on it, and tell me a little bit about his experience being in Africa and whatnot, and then I'm going to carry on along with the conversation. So make sure you guys like and subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell, share the channel, and all that great stuff. So let me go ahead and bring my dear friend on here. Hello, how you doing? What's
How you
going
doing,
on?
Sister Salam? How you doing? Alhamdulillah. I'm good, good, good. Just
Okay,
honored to
Salam.
yeah, honored to be on the live with you. Like you was on the live with me that time, remember? And I interviewed
Yes,
you. yeah,
yes,
I was
yes, yes.
yeah, I was in the Gambia at that time. I'll be heading back shortly. And I like your channel. I like how you roll. I like what you do, man. You know, you're an inspiration. You know, you're growing. I mean, you was started a little small, and then you going up. So that's a good thing. I like the way um, your topic is thought provoking, and that you really get into it. You know, say Black consciousness and trying to enlighten us and give us some information that we probably overlooked. And so that's why when I saw your channel the first time, when you was alive and you was quoting hadiths, you read. I was like, who's this sister Tiffany? What's going on? I was like, man, she awesome.
Yes, yes,
I said, this
yes,
girl
yes.
is on. And I said, man, who is this? I said, I got to reach out to you. And I forgot how we did it. I think I emailed you or something. And, we did a little collaboration. And it was on the live that time. And internet was all jacked up. and, yeah. So, yeah, I'm glad to be with you, as far as on this live and stuff. We family to me. You know that. So, and you're in the ATL, I'm in the LBC. I'll be heading back, from Long Beach, but a little bit.
Okay,
Yeah. I mean, uh, feel free to ask me some things.
okay, all right then, all right.
yeah.
So, we having a conversation about should African in a diaspora repatriate to Africa or move to Africa? Now, where is your position? Where do you stand on it? And why do you feel that it's important or not important to move to Africa?
Hmm. Well, a lot of reasons. It's it's spiritual. It's ancestral. It's physical. It's all of it. To me, and I feel like there's been a lot of things that's been going on recently that has kind of pushed the idea, the year of return, uh, DNA tests, and finding out who we are as far as like our ancestry. Um, and then, like you said, current events, another current event, you have the pandemic stuff going on, you have the George Floyd and all that. But, that's neither here nor there. To be honest with you, we have a lot of connection with the continent, and the connection is that our ancestors came from there, and America is our homeland, Africa is the motherland. So it kind of hit hand in hand. And then in the recent event too, I think recent events, yeah, this U.S. Chinese China war that's going to pop off in 2025, and I certainly don't want to be here before that. I had a video coming out about the 12-month plan to repatriate, to move to the continent for the African diaspora Black Americans. If they are really, really interested in trying to develop a life there, and they should start thinking now because you don't know what's going to happen. You already had a couple of little small little issues that stopped up travel, not really small issues, but this is a major issue. I've been watching videos a lot and on YouTube, and I've been noticing there's a trend. I had a big spy balloon that came over in our in the air. Over the. I mean, it could have put any chemicals or biological weapons on that damn thing. So it came from China. Spy balloon. How did it get over here? Would there be another one? So that's one thing I can say that's really on my mind this time. And I'll be heading back soon. I had a round trip ticket. I've been out for a few months having a business and seeing family and doing some things and things like that. And I'm glad to be heading back. It's important. It's important because another reason why it's important is because we haven't had a closure on a lot of who we are. We don't have knowledge of self. A lot of
Mhm.
people are still asleep. We're not woke. We're thinking that, if we're if it's okay, and a lot of times it's not. We're suffering from PTSD in a sense like post-traumatic slave disorder, the PTSD. What is it? Post-traumatic slave PTSD. 1810 in the house. What's cracking like it, bro?
Yeah, PTSD, which is post traumatic slave disorder. I
Yeah,
mean, post traumatic syndrome disorder.
yeah, yeah.
Oh my goodness.
It's very. It's
Yeah, and
okay.
PTSS is post traumatic slave syndrome.
Yeah, yeah. So,
Um,
yes.
yeah, so yeah, that's wait a minute, I got it mixed up. Hold on, let me get my thoughts correct. PTSD is post traumatic stress disorder.
Yes.
I'm sorry about
Yes.
that.
Yes. Yes.
And PTSS is post traumatic slave syndrome.
Yes.
That was a book that was written by Dr. Joy DeGruy.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah,
Okay.
that's the book that's written by her.
Yeah.
Now, have you went to the year of return in Ghana?
Well, my year return, I didn't go there. I first went to Africa in the early 2000s. I took some
Oh,
trips and lived out there a few years, all together. So I was out there in East Africa, So I already traveled there, and did some time there and learned Swahili. Hey,
wow.
what's up? What's up? Hey, Southern Creole flavor. Yeah, so I was so my interest as far as the year return, I came in Gambia in 2020,
Mm-hmm.
and for a few months, and then I took a break to see if I, you know, really want to return there. And circumstances led, unfortunate circumstances, to believe it or not, led to a positive thing. And meaning that I wasn't planning on going there. I was planning on probably I bought some land, maybe in 8 or 9 years. I build it up and probably go move. And I don't know. I was just, with somebody selling land in Africa and it's in a good price, and you think it's okay, and it's just something that's like, wow, it's not a bad price. I can do it if it's a scam, then maybe I can, I can, it won't be too much of a loss. So it was a little bit 50-50. I didn't, it was some scamming going on, but I didn't lose it. So it's fixable. Thank goodness. But go ahead.
Now, now let me ask you this: how do you feel? Because we hear from Black people in
Hmm.
America that say, "Oh, those people in Africa would scam you. They
Yeah,
cannot be trusted."
yeah,
So,
yeah,
and you shouldn't go over there to Africa because they
yeah.
like to scam folks. But this is why I have her. I promise you.
Okay, I hear you.
But my thing is, well, that's everywhere. That's not just in Africa, right? You got people here in America that will scam you. You got people from your own neighborhood that's gonna scam you.
Yep.
So that's just my intake on it. I mean, what comes to your mind when you hear people saying things like that?
When I hear things like that, you have to realize it wasn't even Africans who were trying to scam you with the lead. It was individuals from the diaspora. So it is what it is. And then, but so when I hear the part as far as in the continentals scamming, yeah, that can happen. It does happen. And
Hmm.
so we have to realize that unless you have somebody like myself who actually live there, who has integrity, and other people around who will show you the right way and not just to go after your money, then guess what? That's how you should roll. You should basically you should most certainly uh, yeah, I mean, I'm at the sumptuous African
Okay.
cuisine over at Eastside Long Beach, and I got some grub real quick. It's
Okay.
healthy.
Okay.
Yeah, it's healthy. So I've been trying to. Goddamn, Montreal on the mission. What's up, my sister? How you doing? Yeah. So, so what we do. So when I hear that and the Creole flavor, the Southern Creole flavor in the house. Yeah, I know these people, all my friends. So I say this much is that. Um, when you're dealing with poverty, you have to realize that, you know, a lot of people in some of these countries only making $100 a month or around that average. So me coming over with, five, 10, 15,000, $20,000, that's like almost 5 years worth of somebody's life. And for us, that's like a couple of months, 6 months. Feel me? So we have to be diligent. We have to be um, on our square, as people say, and you have to make sure that you get to know the people and the reputation. You just can't go over there flashing your money, thinking, "Oh, I'm okay, ha ha ha, I can just pay for anything and get away with stuff," and so they're gonna take advantage of you. You will be taken advantage of if you're not on the up and up yourself, and if you're naive. There's several people I do consultations, and there's several people who contact me who are in the Gambia themselves that are diasporans, and they talk about how much they get scammed by the diasporans and by the locals, and so I try my best to remedy that by providing them good information based upon mistakes that I've made too. As far as dealing with the wrong people, taking videos of people, and it's like later you find out that there's scammers and stuff. So I have to be cautious of who I deal with and associate with. And so my people who work with me, they are vetted by me, and a couple of people, African Americans, who work with me with my businesses, and so meaning vetting, I mean not we ain't doing a background check or nothing like that, but we just checking them out, saying, are you here? Are you going to do business with me and be my friend for the long term? We just here to hustle for the short term. So that's how I roll. That's how I choose people. That's how we see if you give them a little, and if they stick around and they stay around, and they continue to be supportive and give you sound advice instead of trying to hustle you, then they're part of the team. And so that's why, yeah, yeah.
Okay, that's great. That's great. Now, I don't know if you've been keeping up recently. President Biden has did a conference where he had leaders from Africa, and he made a promise to give about $55 billion to the African nation.
Yes.
And just because of the whole transatlantic slave trade and etc. Now, I feel like personally that's just his way of trying to control the resources over there in those countries. But you know what I'm saying? But then some people might feel like it's totally opposite. Now, as you being an African American, right, and somebody that's been to Gambia, right, and you hear that the president is trying to make deals with the African leaders by offering $55 billion or whatever the case may be. Um, what's your take on that?
Hmm. Ah, okay. Now this is a business partner. I'm gonna do it. This is brother. I'm gonna do a live with. I did a video with him, and
Okay,
it's not running. No, I did a video today. It's gonna premiere tomorrow. He's got a business in the Carson Mall, so
okay,
t-shirts and stuff. So all right, so he has to wait. but
okay,
okay. But anyway, for me, my take on that, I'm a former serviceman, nearly 30 years of, 3 decades of service, serving the U.S. military. And so, and I feel like even without that experience, I feel that anything like I feel like that's going to help the infrastructure because the U.S. has never, to me, in my knowledge, has never been a colonizer of Africa. Okay? Just the European countries have been colonizers of Africa. You know, as far as common era, common time, meaning that in the 1600s to 1800s, there was a transatlantic slave trade that was part of, and the U.S. benefited off of that. Okay? But were they the ones in the country colonizing, carving it up? The British, the French, the Portuguese, the Spanish, Belgium, all these countries were part of that. So when they did this, they took away the resources, which is us and the material, the raw materials, and left a lot of devastation there. Now, if a first world power country wants to help build, help the infrastructure, the healthcare, because I heard about that too. I mentioned on one of my lives, is that I see that as a positive thing. And I haven't even voted. I haven't voted since the mid 2000s. I haven't voted for any president, but I see this as a good thing because these countries need a lot of support. This and what is the administration? What are they asking for in return? You see, other people ask for a lot of the resources, minerals, and whatnot, in return for providing support, in particular the Chinese. Chinese do a lot of things like that. So that's what they're doing. They're taking over a lot of the areas, the countries, and they're colonizing in their own way. Before you know it, it's coming. They have their own police stations there. They have their own police security. They have a lot of things there. I see that it's a step by step by step. And then you see what's going on with the potential war in 2025. So, but for me, I think it's a good thing. I think it'll help the infrastructure. Tens of billions of dollars. That's come on. That's and having been in several countries, I've been all over East Africa, West Africa, and I've seen the good, the bad, and the ugly. And I see that if there's just a little bit more of positive influence from the outside, and a lot of people are going, our people are going, I mean, not people, but the continental Africans are going to the West, going to America, they're going to all these places because they don't have opportunities that we have. Now, some of these opportunities will possibly be in the continent, so they don't have to really go there. And another thing I like to say for me is that
okay,
I think that although this is not for the diaspora, I don't think it's meant for. When I was reading, it's for the continental Africans because the health infrastructure and healthcare. But for those diasporans who want to possibly go and repatriate to Africa, and a lot of them they don't like the infrastructure there. They don't like some of the things that go on. They don't like the Wi-Fi. They don't want the weak Wi-Fi. They want the healthcare to be at the standard of the U.S. because they have family, they have elderly people, they have kids, they have things like that. So if they have things like that that they issues that I mean, there could be potential problems. So I think that we can benefit off that as well as diaspora is going to the continent, you know, and I think it's a good thing. If I just said all that and this whole 5 minutes I just talked, I just say it's a good thing. Let's just summarize it that way.
Okay, okay,
Hit
okay.
the like
That's
button,
cool.
fam. Hit the like button, folks.
Okay. So now let me ask you this. So
Yes, ma'am.
what can people, can you hear me?
Yeah. I mean,
Okay. So what can people learn about especially places like Gambia, right? When it comes to like the history of the countries in itself, what can people learn in relation to the slave trade and the African diaspora people? You know, what is it that we can learn as far as those things is concerned? Because there's a lot of us that want to know more about what it's like, you know, what was the history of Gambia like beforehand, or what was Ghana like before it was like, you know, present day Ghana, or what was what type of tribes was there at the time period? Because I mean, for me, because you and I both had a discussion about ancestry tests, right?
yes.
We took our ancestry test. Like I took my 23andMe
Mm-hmm.
ancestry and whatnot. I had some Gambia in me, and I have those who's from Senegal and all of that. So, um, what, yeah, because I just want to, like, what can you really take away? Like, what can you learn as far as the historical sense is concerned? What type of culture shock was there? Because I know, like, the culture, you know,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we pick up on a lot of culture from the African people, of course. We
Mm-hmm.
pick up on a lot of that. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Mm-hmm.
you'll see a lot of African practices here in America, you know, that's blended in with the Western culture.
Mm-hmm.
And so it was like our ancestors was very clever at doing that because they was able to blend those culture in together,
Mm-hmm.
you know what I'm saying, without us really knowing that we are taking on the African customs. And it's so like surprising when people say, no, we not those people. We're not those African people. They're not one of us. You know, but you're
Mm-hmm.
taking in so many practices.
Yes.
So
Yes.
yeah, so I mean, what is that we can take away from that
Wow, that's a good
as far
question.
as the history?
That's
Yeah,
a good question.
yeah, as far as the
Wow.
history is concerned.
Yeah. As far as the history is concerned, wow. You know, even when I first stepped foot on the African soil in the early 2000s, and even now, it seemed like, and somebody even told me, it's like you bringing your ancestors back with you who were taken. And so, because they prayed that one day we will come back. If they didn't come back, somebody will come back. Some of their seeds will come back. I actually got Nigerian cousins that I found through DNA. And I went to Nigeria for I think about 6 weeks. I can't remember. And last year I went and I went to the ancestral villages. They showed me the ancestral villages. I went all over Nigeria for a long time and several weeks, and I had a great time. And so I have family there on both my mom and dad's side that I matched with DNA.
Hmm.
Some of my cousins on my dad's side
Oh,
live in America. Okay. And this is generations. This may be from the 17th to 1800s. Whenever whoever was captured. That's why I say this. Whoever was captured, that mystery has been solved through science. Now we can know who we are, and we can connect through our family members there through DNA tests. If enough Africans from the continent would start taking DNA tests, we can definitely connect to them. Right? But my cousin, she actually, her husband was he's a biologist, a molecular biologist, and he was doing this doctorate or he's teaching or something in Malaysia. So he just, hey, why don't you just take this test? And she's like, okay. She took the test. And I took the same test she did, and never knew who she was. I didn't know who she was. And all of a sudden I opened the page up, and She matched to me as a cousin,
Mm.
exact match.
Wow.
And me and my daughter, I mean my daughter, her daughter looks just like me when I was her age. We look like brothers and sisters, like we had.
Wow.
Yeah. And so when we was walking in Nigeria and we was in Kano, we was in Benue, we was in different places, people thought she was my daughter. So it was funny. But and so what I'm saying is that a lot of saying it's us and them, but it's often it's us and it's them. No, it's us together because we are
Mhm.
cousins of the continentals. And when you go there, you get to hear the languages and things. Languages, you see to see the culture, you get to eat the food that our ancestors ate. Because a lot of traditions, especially in the villages, that's why I would highly recommend going to the villages, is that you can see and hear and smell what the way our ancestors lived. Okay, and
Mhm.
that's what's beautiful about it. And now the continental Africans, because I know people, I know Africans. Hey, I know Africans there, and a lot of the kids when they go to school, they have to study the transatlantic slave trade. They find out exactly. Am I still muffled? They find out. They get to find out who they when they see us. They see the ancestors coming back. In a sense, the ones who are woke, the ones who knows what's going on, and um, and that's what I like about it. Because we can bridge the gap. We can tell them this is what's been going on. This is why we're coming back. You know, this is we want to get a taste of because if you I like to use this phrase. I like to use this analogy. If you are kidnapped or adopted when you were a kid and you never met your mother, in the back of your mind you always want to know who your mother is. Am I right? So even if you just want to see your
Yeah.
mother, even if you just want to see your mother for one day, okay, I'm gonna go see my mother for one day. I saw
Mhm.
my mom. You know, my mom. I was raised by this beautiful family who raised me, who took care of me. You know, I got opportunities. I got money. I got this. I got a job. I got, you know what I'm saying. I got education. I have career. You know, all this. I have a rich culture, a blended Western and African culture, but we still carry that culture from Africa, even though we are in the diaspora. And so when you look at it in that perspective, you actually can, you actually feel proud of who you are. And when you go to the continent, you get to say, okay, I feel it. It's the, the, the gap is closed. The bridge is closed. You know, so it's open. You know, we bridge the gap. And now, if I decide to stay in the diaspora, that's fine. If I stay in Africa, I'm fine. But for some people, it's like a rebirth for them, and especially for me. I learned the language. I learned Swahili. And then the Afro-Asiatic language, Arabic. I'm learning Fulani. I'm learning, Wolof, Mandinka. I'm,
Oh,
you know,
you learned Fulani?
yeah, I'm learning that
What?
the best I can. It's just a
Fulani?
language.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, I'm learning it, So that's something that's in my blood. Mandinka is too. Mandingo, all that is in my blood. Most of us are from Nigeria anyway. A lot of us don't want to go to.
Yes.
A lot of people don't want to go to Nigeria because of the scamming. You hear that? But when I went to Nigeria, it's like a modern country, just like the States. The airport was modern. The infrastructure was pretty good. When I went to the airport, it was like, man, this is the main airport in Abuja. And so I went to north, south, and top of Nigeria. But for us to bridge that gap and to bring what we know from the West and help with the infrastructure part, to help with skills and training, you know, and just to give them an idea that there is opportunity and that, even though we're taking and we didn't leave in the best circumstances, but we're coming back with a lot of positive things. And from what I hear, I think the, the Africans, when we come back, they like to see people of their ethnicity, like look and stuff come back and try to do it because the trust is almost not there anymore due to the colonization. Every time other cultures and from Europe and whatnot, they it's like that trust is not there. But when they see us come back, they see the trust. And there's a lot of people there, white, black, and where they're doing great job, great work. A lot of humanitarian efforts are being done there. So yeah, so I think bridging that gap and connecting with the people there, it's going to be ups and downs. Can you hear me? Yeah, there's going to be ups and downs. It's not going to be a total, hey, welcome home, and people, But in Ghana, I heard it's like that. In other places, they have celebrations for the diasporas coming back. But when you come back prepared. Don't come back there. Don't go there broke. Don't go there with trying to scam people. Don't go there trying to hurt people or exploit the people. And that's one thing that we have to learn because what happens is that we may come by. You may come there. Oh, you hear me? Thank you, Montreal. You should. Yeah. Um, we try to um, when we come back. If we don't watch ourselves, and I've seen it there, we become a colonizing force instead of a get to know my brother and sister force and that kind of deal. And I've seen it. I've seen how some of our African diaspora how they treat some of the locals as far as like even at the restaurants yelling at them, just doing all kind of stuff and treating them like second class citizens. And I think that's wrong. I think we should yes. Just because you got a little bit more money, you broke here, but now you got money in Africa because of the currency conversion and how valuable the U.S. dollar is compared to um, African currency, and that's what I'm going to say. Yeah,
Wow. Wow.
yeah, I've seen it.
So okay, so what's the current so okay, so the question is like what's the dollar value in like places like Nigeria and Gambia? Like let's say for instance, what would $10 be for Gambia?
$10.
And what would $10 be for yeah, for Nigeria in their currency?
Okay. When I was in, comparing those both, it seemed like it's almost equal. To be honest, our dollars goes a long way with regardless. So $10 that can be somebody's. They can hang on that for a week. They can use that for a week. They use it for transportation. Say for instance, $1. Okay, so like just say $1. $1 can be transportation for 5 days, meaning it costs 10 cents to go one place and then go back another place for 10 cents. So that's 20 cents. What I'm saying 40. Round trip. I guess you could say yeah, yeah, 5 days. And so that's how it goes. But other things there are expensive though. Like the transportation is cheaper is because how else will people get around? And most of these are vehicles. They call them gillies in Gambia and West Africa. They call them matatu, and then I think in Nigeria they call them tuk-tuks, or that's the Indian made cars. But you know, $2 can last somebody a couple of days. I mean, 200 dolasis, which is like $4. $2 to $4. It can. 200 dolasis is about $3.50 or $2, but it can last them, because they know how to manage the money. They stick together. And families they wouldn't make it unless they stick together, and share their resources, their income. Everybody put it in one pot. That's how they survive. And so that's hopefully, like you mentioned, the billions of dollars. I mean, that will change people's lives. That will change countries. And I think you mentioned earlier, that's a good thing. And I really support that effort. And I hope it becomes successful. Especially when I'm there, I'm gonna be there, and hope I can enjoy some of it. As far as like the infrastructure changing and see those things, but yeah, the dollar, the money is You pull out $100 out the ATM, people go crazy. It's like wow, and it's like yeah, and it's like it's just, it's good and bad. It's good for us to be have that. But like what up, Saeed? It's good for us to be in that situation, but it's not good to see people not in the same having the same circumstances because when you look at the African people, a lot of them they come in my shade, they come in your shade, they come darker, they come lighter, and you see them, it's like, oh man, and they may have an accent, they speak good English and this, but they're still not us. We have a long way to connect and become one. And the problem is trust, and the problem is um, financial. But you want them to be in the situation that you're in. When I see people that I really like a lot, and I try to help them, and they're supportive and loyal to me, I really want to help them achieve, a good standard while they're there, and so that way they can be self-sufficient, and that's why I like to see, and I just feel bad when I know I say this is a smart, intelligent person. They have a lot of opportunity. I mean, don't have a lot of. They have a lot of ambition. They have a lot of will. They have a lot of goals. They striving. They're not lazy, and they could be selling peanuts on the street or whatever, and then if they don't have that opportunity. So that's what I'm hoping this will bring the opportunity there for them. Not everybody's poor. Not everybody poor. Okay, so there's some rich ones there too. So trust me, it's up and down. You
Wow.
know,
Now let's talk about something. So, a lot of celebrities going out there to Ghana especially, right?
yeah,
And Meek Mill just did a video out there not too long ago, and it sparked a lot of controversy because the video that he did was right in front of the office building of the president of Ghana, right in front of his office.
okay.
And so, yeah, it became a controversy. But his whole purpose was to try to bridge the gap between African Americans and the continental Africans. So people was
Mm,
attacking him, coming at him, saying he was wrong. Well, particularly those who are Ghanaian people, people that's from the Ghana region, they pretty much was like, "Oh, what is he doing? He's wrong," etc., etc. So, um, now hearing about that and what he has done, I mean, I don't. I agree that if that's what he's doing, if he's trying to bridge the gap, then there's nothing wrong with that. But to do it in front of the office of the president, that could be, yeah, that can create problems and that could bring some form of controversy.
mm,
Yeah.
mm.
So
Yes. Well,
that, go
there's certain
ahead.
things that Africans. I'm sorry. Go ahead, sister.
No, no, I want to hear what you guys say.
Okay. Well, there's certain things that Africans can do in their own countries, and there's certain things that diasporas can do and say and do. Okay. So you have to really tread water, you know, very carefully. There's a lot of sensitive issues that- that's in the political arenas, and if you aren't careful, you can potentially get deported, or you can get hurt. Even if you think that anybody can go to a certain country. I'm just talking about from the diaspora standpoint and just try to change policies and make things the way you want to do. I'm talking about average people like myself or yourself just going down there and you think you can say what you want to say and do what you want to do because you're coming with a certain passport. You're coming with a certain amount of currency. Okay. But you got to remember, not only are these people have different types of politics. They have different cultures embedded in their politics too. So you have to take that into consideration because you can't just say certain things and you think you're going to get away with it if you're on the next flight. That may not happen. You may not be on the plane. And in a lot of sense, we stand out there in those places too. People when I was in Nigeria, yeah, I didn't stand out as much. People thought, oh, he's Nigerian, but he probably lived in the UK or Jamaica. Some people think I'm Jamaican, so or the States when they hear me talk. Yeah, I do have the Jamaican ancestry. So, one of my ancestors was in Jamaica somewhere. I saw them in DNA test one time. But I say this is
Oh,
that,
okay.
yeah, yeah.
Mine's
Haiti
mine's
and
as well.
Martinique, you too? Okay. So, yeah, come
No,
from Haiti.
not Haitian, but Jamaican, like
Yeah.
Jamaican ancestry, Caribbean ancestry.
Yeah.
Because I was told that my paternal great grandfather, he was from the Bahamas, from Nassau, Bahamas.
Mhm.
So it could be a strong possibility and chance that he probably was originally from Jamaica and
Mhm.
moved over to the Bahamas area because a
Mhm.
lot of islanders, people from the islands, they travel
Yes.
from one island to the next island.
Uh,
So that could have been that case. But
okay.
yeah, a lot of us do have like Caribbean ancestry, especially Jamaican ancestry. That's very strong.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, it's very strong because what happened is that when we left West Africa and we was on a slave ships or whatnot, we were divided at those slave castles and slave ports to different places. As far as a mother could be going one place, a dad could be going one, the son go this way. And I think that's the reason why I do have Haitian, Martinique, and Jamaican ancestors. And, and I think that I'm gonna have to check and see if they match each other. If they definitely can match with each other, so if they're cousins with each other, that's part of the case. So, um, but going back to what we were talking about is that I think that, like I said, you have to really tread lightly there. You can't. Things can happen. You see the movies. You've seen the news, particularly the news. How you got coups goes on going on there. You have people like Sierra Leone had the blood diamond issues. I've been to Sierra Leone. Spent several weeks there, and things can just explode at any second. So you have to really tread lightly. You just can't go in there and sing. And I see a lot of the sisters do that. Our sisters go there, and with their dominant masculine energy, and you're going to go to a male-dominated society and push the buttons on these people. Even some of the women, they may not say something to them. They say, "Hey, be careful. You have to be careful." And you have to respect the culture. You have to respect it. The culture has been going on for millennia. And we come into our culture 400 or 500 years, and so we have to go ahead and adapt to their culture. That's why I say it's important to go to the villages and learn how the hierarchy of the chiefs and the kalos are in relation to the other people and how they, and you know, people may tolerate it and say, "Oh, everything's okay," but you don't definitely don't go in front of a presidential palace and talk loud and try to dictate things. There's certain ways to get things done, and that's not the correct way. You can come out here and protest, walk down the street, as long as you get a protest permit. You can go, people protest in front of the White House, as long as I guess they get permission, but to just do something like that, because a lot of us, especially if we go over there doing some things like that, we're representing the nation that we come from. So each time you have somebody from a different country, whether they're from Jamaica, whether they're from the U.S., you go out there playing little silly games, as I like to say. You setting a bad example for all of us. And nobody's perfect. Nobody's gonna. People gonna make mistakes. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Shadid is one of the brothers. He's a good brother. Everybody's good people here tonight. You know, um, it's that we, we have to, like I said, be humble. Hey, be humble. Hey, everybody, if you haven't subscribed to my sister's channel while you're watching, please subscribe to her channel. She has a lot. She's a wealth of knowledge.
Please do so. Please so make sure you like and subscribe to the channel. If you guys like what you're seeing, make sure you like and subscribe.
Yeah, yeah. And I feel like, there's a lot of potential for us to be successful there. You have to learn how to blend in and respect what's there and offer the good benefits of where we come from. And that's how they're gonna make it, you know. And you can't go over there scamming. You can't go over there, committing crimes and bringing, negativity there, you know. And that's and I love fufu.
Right.
I got to start eating
Oh
fufu.
yeah, and I was gonna ask about the food. Now the food.
Yeah.
Now, okay. So now I was gonna ask you about the food over there. I love eating West African dish. All right. My favorite dish is fufu.
Oh
Fufu is
wow.
one of my favorite.
Yeah, we related.
I love fufu.
Mm-hmm.
I love it. I love it. And also, there's another dish called the DD car. I think that's how you pronounce it, DD car, which is like lamb
Well,
and it has onions on top of it,
mm-hmm.
and you get it with couscous,
Well, I
and
like fufu.
you get it with the carrots on the side. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So, but yeah, so a lot of the West African food that I eat, they come from Senegambia area,
Wow.
or Senegalese.
Okay.
Yeah, it's very like I love it. Like I love it, and I'm like a big customer because I
Mm.
always order the food. Like like I order from Uber Eats and get the food all the time. So
Mm-hmm.
so speaking of food, how is the food over there in Gambia and Nigeria? Which one has the best food between Nigeria and Gambia and
Sierra
Sierra
Leone.
Leone?
I knew you were gonna ask Sierra Leone.
Yeah.
Man, uh, I feel a energy when I think about fufu. But let me see.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's my thing. I like the Nigerian food that my cousins was cooking every morning, the breakfast, and they call it tiger tiger's juice or tiger nuts or whatever
Tiger
juice.
juice?
It's like a tiger. It's like a white liquid, and it's like sweet and it's I forgot what that's what it said. Tiger. And I was cracking up. Why y'all call it that? That's just shit. That's just the name of it. I said, okay. It was something like that, and I was like, and then the good food, man. It's just lovely. Uh, Sierra Leone, the acheke. Acheke was just a fish, rice, and vegetables. And I have a video about it where I ate there. And Gambia, chicken domada, you have the chicken yase, and you have the chicken benedict, fish benedict. I like. I think because I've been in the Gambia longer and experienced it more, I think I like prefer the Gambian food at this moment. But I can say it's a toss up though. It's a toss up because they almost all are blend together. I wish they would have more vegetables in the food that we had, like more salads and things like that. So most of the time it's rice and the meat and the sauces, but there's not too much vegetables on the plate. They serve them so too many vegetables. But yeah, a check eggs, oh that's jamming. That's in Sierra Leone. That's the bomb. I was like, wow. But then my favorite chicken. I think I like fish fufu, fish fugazi, eggs fugazi with the fufu. So they all got different flavors and that I like. You know, I actually like, to be honest with you, the East African food. I like
Oh,
the,
I love East African food,
yeah.
especially Ethiopian food.
Oh, yeah, I just ate there the
I
other
love
day.
Ethiopian food. I love the bread, the injera. You
Nigeria,
take the injera and
yeah.
you eat it with the vegetables. Like I would normally get that with the vegetables. I love Ethiopian food. I love it.
I love it too. Have you? There's many Ethiopian food in ATL. I used to go to those restaurants all the time over there. So yeah, and I love the Ethiopian food. I like the biryani. I forgot what they call it. but the Kenyans make it very good. Tanzania, it's like it's the Indian and African mix style they make it. I forgot what they call it, but the fish and the rice. Yeah, man. I'm an eater. I gotta tone it down. You know, I picked up some pounds. I picked up some pounds out here, man. So, but listen, she loved Nigeria bread. Yeah, I love it. And so I had the other day. I had what did I have? I think I had the chicken tips with the sauce. I believe it was with the injera. So I'm into eating different foods. I don't shy away. Just don't give me the pork. That's the only thing. Don't give me the swine.
Right.
I'm not messing with swine. You know, it's not even
Right.
if it was a religion thing. I just don't like that. I tasted it before, of course. It's just something that it doesn't appeal to me.
Yeah.
You never had ATM
Now,
Tim?
now,
But
who?
ATM
Oh,
Tim. I thought she was in Atlanta.
oh, he
ATM
said I
Tim.
can't wait to try some African food. Never had it. Oh, yeah, you gonna love it. The African
Yeah,
food is so delicious.
yeah, yeah,
It's delicious.
yeah,
You just need to try fufu. If you try that food, the fufu is the most popular thing to eat
yeah.
when it comes to West African food. It's the most
Mm-hmm,
popular thing to eat.
mm-hmm,
You know.
mm-hmm.
And if you like jambalaya rice, you can try that as well. But I would say try the fufu. You'll love it. But there's a certain way you gotta eat fufu. So you have to eat it like this, okay?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Yeah,
because it comes with the bread.
yeah.
So you take the bread and you have to. That's how you eat it.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah. It's
yeah.
delicious. It's delicious.
Now let's get into the concept about spirituality because spirituality is a thing. It's very important. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying, especially within the African culture, right?
Mm-hmm.
Um, a lot of times, people don't understand the spiritual practices of the indigenous African people,
Yeah.
especially those from Central West Africa.
Yeah.
And the most common practice, what I'm saying, here in the diaspora is the Ifa religion. But
Mm-hmm.
you got different forms of the synchronized version of you got Mississippi, you got Santeria, you got Obia,
Mm-hmm.
you got the ones that they practice out there in Louisiana.
Yes.
Just to name a few, it's so many long lists. All right. Now I know by you being Muslim,
Yeah.
right? And Islam is it's very popular within the West Central Africa region,
Yes.
especially like the places in Gambia, Senegal, and
Mm-hmm.
Mali,
Yes.
and whatnot. So, I mean, because I know it's like
You
the
see
way
your mic
that
is.
Islam is practiced over there is very different than how Islam is practiced in the Middle East in some ways. And then there are those who are Sufi Muslims. I know you're familiar with the Morida Brotherhood out of Tupa, Senegal.
Mm-hmm.
Morida, are you familiar with them?
With Senegal, you kind of breaking up a little bit. Yeah. Maybe.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you, but it's
Hold
breaking.
on,
It's messing. Yeah. Maybe
hold on.
come on and come back in.
Hold on.
The ATM Tim
Okay.
noticed it. He said,
Can you hear
"Hey,
me now? Can you hear me now?
I can hear you. I can hear you. It's just it's a little distorted,
Okay.
but you can
Okay.
still
Can
ask the
you
question.
hear me? Is it clear?
Yeah, but
Is it
maybe
clear?
come off and come back on.
All right. Just give me a moment. Hold on.
Yeah,
Give me a moment. Let me step
because you're
out.
the host. They got to hear you. You know, I'm not important.
Okay. Hold on. Let me step out. Let me step out.
All right, my sister. How y'all doing? What's up? Yeah. I hope you guys subscribe to Tiffany's channel, man. The young sister, man, she's doing it. I like her channel. She reminds me of me sometimes. But much love to everybody. Thanks for tuning in. Like I said, if you're not ready, if you're not making plans to go at least for a visit to the motherland, come check it out. Come visit now. and then come back, and then make your move. You know, see where you want to go. Take the ATM, take the DNA test, find out, where you come from, or even if you don't, find a place that suits where you want to go. And she mentioned a lot of good things she mentioned on this live tonight as in regards to the money's being that's going there. I mentioned this.
All right, can't you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
Okay, cool, cool, cool.
Yeah.
All right, so yes,
Spirituality.
I was saying about African spirituality.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Um so I was saying that, where did I leave off? Oh yeah, I was speaking about how here in America we have like a synchronized version of various form of African spirituality. You got the hoodoo practice, you
Yeah.
got Louisiana voodoo, you have the Leukemia, Santeria,
Yeah.
you have Obia or
Yeah.
Payo Mayobe,
Yeah.
just to name a few.
Yes.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Just to name a few.
Yes.
Um so, and then I also mentioned about over there in West Africa, in Central Africa, they practice a lot of Islamic religion.
Yep.
Okay, and they have the Sunni Islam, then they have the Sufi Islam over there,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Yes.
So, and I was asking you, are you familiar with the Morida Brotherhood from Senegal?
No, I'm not.
No, oh, you're not. Okay, so are you familiar with the Sufi Islamic practice?
Yes. Sufi, Sufi.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I'm a
So,
Sunni.
I'm sorry, huh?
I'm a Sunni Muslim,
Right, right. Okay, okay.
but I
All
know
right.
about the other.
So, huh?
I know about the other branches.
Okay. Cool. 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 So now,
Sorry.
oh, it's all good. So you said you visit the villages, right?
Yes.
So did you encounter those who were like practicing Ifa or any other African spiritual practices, like any type of any type of initiation or like African system, and like what was it like just being able to be around those brothers and sisters of the indigenous tribe or indigenous culture that just practicing African spirituality, and also those who are practicing Islam over there?
Good question. Good question. I'd
Hmm.
like to really add that if there were if there weren't the three Abrahamic faiths, more than likely we'll be practicing those religions, those spiritualities. Okay, my ancestors were Hebrews, Christians, Muslims, and the indigenous faiths because we came from all over West Africa. Okay?
Hmm.
And so we are summation of all those tribes and the faiths that they practice. And so when it comes to you have to realize that these faiths were practiced prior to the Abrahamic faiths coming to West Africa, which came from East Africa. The three Abrahamic faiths came from East Africa over in Palestine, Israel, in that area, in Afro-Asiatic location in the Arabian Gulf. So they came from those regions and they went to West Africa. So, like I said, if I had either I would not have practiced those faiths, if Abrahamic faith did not come to West Africa, we was practicing those type of spiritualities and then variations of those practices went to Haiti, went to Louisiana, went to South North Carolinas. They went all over, and there's people still practice them to this day. But it's not the same. Even the Mexicans aren't Spanish. They're not white. Mexicans are mestizos mostly, who are Indians who speak Spanish. A lot of them lost their languages. Okay, so when people are thinking, why are they Spanish speaking? Why are they practicing Santeria and all this stuff? Because they have adopted the African ancestors and religions. Also, a lot of that when the Moors went to Spain, Afro-Asiatics and African colonists in Spain for 800 years. Some of those faiths, Islam and indigenous, probably so. You never know. It's probably brought there too. But when I come to West Africa, I've never seen someone actually practice. You got in Gambia they call it juju. It's forbidden to practice that. When I heard you can get arrested for it, and so what happened to me, like I said, I'm boots on the ground there, boots, bare feet, and boots, sandals, and bare feet on the ground. I mentioned that a lot of times online, meaning that people have tried juju on me. Okay, and black magic is real.
Mm.
And brother Shahid knows what I'm talking about. You know,
Mm.
it's real. It's in verses of the Quran. You have to read. You have to because they would try to put it on you.
Mm.
Spells on you, and they tried it. They tried to put it in your food. They would try to put it in different areas in your home or your businesses, little notes and stuff. And shout out to Sheikh Yahya Shabaka. Uh, sorry, Sheikh Yahya Shabaka. I talk to him a lot. He's from Compton, California, but he lives in Morocco, and he's an elder brother, and he's on my lives a lot, and I speak to him a lot often, and he gives me a lot of advice, and I spoke to him what I'm gonna do, as far as ridding this from me. And this is one of the guys who's working for me. We have somebody working in the house and stuff, and they do the same thing. It's like what they want is the ones who want to take control of you. They want to do it. They do it for bad. It's not meant for bad. It's meant for good. Okay.
Mhm.
It's supposed to be used for good purposes to cure
Mhm.
you for ailments, to help you for anxieties, stress, and stuff, and try to give you some good information about your future, and stuff. That's what. So I think two or no, three people I know for sure that are Gambians practice it. Right, that I know that I encountered it, and they try to use it on me. You feel me? So I know who they are. And you got some diasporans over there who got things in their houses, juju ornaments and things, and they try to cast spells on the diasporans to get their money.
Mm.
Yeah. You go to somebody's house, they're putting stuff in people's food. This is the stuff that's going on there.
Mm.
These are, they think they can go to Africa and take these type of faiths and then turn it on their own people who are trying to go over there and try to better themselves. Okay? So you
Mm.
got to be, and so that's the reason why you have to have other diasporas over there who are honest and who are going to make sure that you're not going to be taken advantage of. That you're not going to, they're going to try to use what was like for me. I could have said that those certain people. Actually, there's another tailor. He has a couple of things over his, I think some bones or something over his door. And I asked him what it was. He said, yeah, he went to Marabou, and that's to protect his place. In Sierra
Mm.
Leone, I talked to a brother there, African American brother. He said he used to be Muslim, and then he practices juju, that form. And he told me when I went to Sierra Leone, he was talking. He said, "Bro, you need some protection," because I was telling him what had happened with with my experiences with the juju, how they try to do it to me, what they try to do to me. And I said, my protection is with the Most High, Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala.
Mhm.
I don't need to go to any Marabou's and tell me this and all that. I don't need that. I just need faith. If I was a Christian, if I was a Hebrew, or whatever, yeah, I'm a Muslim, but those three key faiths believe in the same God. And those verses in the Injil, the Torah, and the Quran, for especially I know for the Quran for sure. You
Mhm.
got these things called exorcisms and all that, that people they cast out the demons out of. So, you know, that's one thing, and I like to make it clear 100%. You have to be prepared for that. You have to have an open mind. You have to be alert. You have to make sure. It's almost like this. Snoop Dogg. Snoop Dogg got millions and millions of dollars, millionaire. But guess what he does? He rolls up his own weed. Why is that?
Because you can't trust too many people.
Exactly. He had people trying to put stuff in his weed because why? They want his money. They want him to get hooked on some stuff and then take his money. And that's what
Hmm.
he rolled up his own weed. So, in other words, you got to keep that in mind. You really have to, because we're coming over there thinking that we are always the same, which we are the same on the outside. On the inside, we partly the same, because of we have a bit of culture from Africa and the West, but we aren't the same 100%. And some people think that they want to go over there and practice the faith, that that's going to get them inside, practice juju or whatever. It's going to get them a little closer to the society, the hidden society. Okay, and it could be backfiring themselves. And I had uh, one person in particular, I didn't mention the name, of course I didn't do that, I don't like to do that stuff anyway. Mentioned that he or she, I'm gonna say this person, mentioned that they were all into it. Didn't
Hmm.
realize it wasn't what it said. It wasn't factual. Some of them was just people just trying to get money out of people to say they're gonna read something and know what you about, what you future or whatever, and then or see your past and see your ancestors from the past. And they say, no, it was just some of it was just a hint, but some of it's probably real. So,
Hmm.
and so when you come over there, you really have to mention it. You mention the blend of Islam, and there's certain things in Islam they may call the Adhan a little bit more. They call it prayer in the mosque on Friday. They call it 3 times. There's other things that you probably, some people may go to the masjid and then they go to the mirror on Saturday. On Friday, masjid, mirror on Saturday. You don't know what people are doing, behind their closed doors. And and I'm not saying Juju is wrong. I'm not saying it. Remember, I told you that. It's not. I don't judge other people's faith. I don't judge people
Hmm.
practice. Like I said, some of my ancestors practice it. Some of my ancestors and some of my deep family members in Louisiana, they practice voodoo, and whatever you want. They
Yeah, voodoo.
voodoo. Yeah,
Museum voodoo.
we got this is family who's into that stuff. Okay,
Hmm.
but that's their perspective. That's
Hmm.
we looking from the outside to the inside. Toward the inside, we trying to find out what they're doing. So instead of from the inside, we're not on the inside. But you have to be cautious when you're dealing with certain spiritualities and practices. Once you cross a certain line, it can affect you. And that's the reason why I had to do ruku. I had to cleanse myself, wash myself, all this stuff. It's true. It's
Hmm.
real. Some people don't think it's real. Some people think it's hocus pocus and holy book. But a lot of it's real. And you just got to know which one's real. You just got to take care of yourself spiritually, physically, and mentally. You have to take care of yourself and be prepared for. I'm not trying to scare anybody off, but you have to know that
Right.
you have to know what's going on. You just can't go over there thinking that when you step, it's been going for 500 years, and people have been doing things for 6,000 years, or whatever, and then you
Hmm.
over and influence and change, and you're gonna just be right in with it. No, it's not that. You know. Sorry for the long spiel, everybody.
Okay. Now, I want to ask you one last question before.
I don't want to go. I like it. No,
All right. So I want to ask you this. So people have a perception that African people are not as advanced when it comes to scientific knowledge or dealing with science.
yeah.
And so, you know, I have actually heard certain individuals try to say or try to make an argument that, African people, especially those from Central West Africa, they're not scientifically literate.
Hmm.
And I know that for a fact that's not true. Because when we look up the information about those from Timbuktu, especially in Timbuktu, they dealt with a lot of sciences. You know what I'm saying? They dealt with a lot of mathematics. You know what I mean? So it's in historical records, right? But there are people who ain't never been to Central West Africa, okay? For one.
Hmm.
And
Hmm.
for two, they have it in their mind that these people are not scientifically literate and they just deal with just, cultural indigenous practice and just spirituality. But what they don't realize is before there was modern science, there was the pre-science, okay, or proto-science, which dealt with the indigenous practice. All right. And I brought up this
Yep.
example before. Neil deGrasse Tyson, who is an astrophysicist, he always mentioned that he mentions that our ancestors, right? They were scientists, and nature was their laboratory. Okay, now just hear me out on that. So when we look at the origin of science, we know that the people who was actually studying science were those who were in the indigenous culture, right?
Yep.
Not only they was indigenous, those who was into the spiritual system, okay,
Yeah.
because they used a lot of herbs, all
Mm-hmm.
right. Before there was what's it called, inculation, like the insulin and all of that. Before that came into existence, it in the modern science world, it was the people from the indigenous tribe that was dealing with that. And then as far as like studying about astronomy, what we know today is astronomy.
Mm-hmm.
It was those who was in the indigenous culture that worship stars, that worship the cosmos, that did all these different things. They found connection with the cosmos and the universe, right?
Mm-hmm.
And they gave those I they gave them some form of name or nomenclature to describe them as deities. All right. So it's like people. I understand people try to separate science from religion or from spirituality in particularly, but you really can't separate those two. You know what I'm saying? Because spirituality gives like the metaphorical explanation of science. You understand what I'm saying? So now, with that being said, have you came across a lot of people that are scientifically literate over in those countries, those who are into the scientific fields of study? And then what would you have to say to people who be saying stuff about African people don't deal with science, or they're not pretty much advanced in scientific knowledge? What would you have to say to them?
Hmm. Wow, that's a deep question, and it's a very good one. You know, I like to listen. I still do. I listen to a lot of conscious hip hop. I
Hmm.
listen to Nas, especially Nas, and Rakim, and everything. People old school. And they drop. You know, they say a lot of they send a lot of messages within their lyrics, and it's a lot of things that kind of gets into your psyche, and it kind of makes you think in a way outside the box and think about what's going on in Africa. They mention Africa a lot because before, remember, we supposed to hate Africa. Africa was savages, dark continent, a bunch of people just running around, with nothing on, clothes on, eating each other, and so that was the mindset that we had as kids sometimes, in our grandparents and how they thinking. And so now, when it comes to knowing exactly what the truth is that when you, like I said, when you come awaken, you know dang well that Africa is a cradle of civilization, art, science, mathematics, huh? All that, astronomy. So Greeks and Romans would come to beg for this type of information. Okay, but every type, you got all these empires, Mali, you got pyramids. We have so many different rich things. Nubians, what they did. So we come to you look at this. We look at what things are now. See, certain places choose not to want to advance more because they don't need to. Certain people, countries don't see the point of going to the moon or the Mars or you know. They just say, "I'm happy. I have food. I have this. I can read. I can write." You know, the basics of what they are satisfied with. But then there's other countries, and you know, who are inspired. Hey, let's keep pushing. Let's find out more advances, more technology. More this. There's nothing wrong with that either. But I feel like that's something that when I come across, I haven't met any scientists like you know that you're talking about, but I've met some very very intelligent brothers and sisters on the continent
Mhm.
speaking four, five, six languages
Mhm.
who can just do advance and when they read and study something, they just sponges. Some of the gamblers who work with me and stuff, man, I, like the young people, man, they just they got knowledge, man. They just want that. Some of them go through these get certificate programs, they get this, they just hungry for knowledge, and you know, and they very just think outside the box. They're intelligent. So when I see this, I said, and they're not, and those that I run into aren't lazy. They're ambitious. They want to, you know, learn more and more and more. And then when they see somebody like me coming, they said, I can learn from this brother here. And so when I see that, not what's in your pocket, what's in your mind, and that's what I see. I see that. And so that you know, we already know that through colonization, slave trade, and all whatever. That of course, if people are taken from a rich society and something that's prosperous and something that's going to be beneficial, something that's part of their ancestry that's positive, of course, it's going to. People are going to want to try to eliminate that thought, eliminate that history, you know, because why? Because we are at that time we were meant to be, you know, doing the labor work and manual labor and to do things to produce uh, product. While you thinking about Africa, the only thing we want to do about Africa is what you can know to bring to how to fertilize these crops and to how to harvest them. That's what we need to know. We don't need to know about okay, good, you know this. So that type of because if you notice, like right now, when people start to become conscious and they start to wake up and learn about what was lost, now you see people going. Before you didn't know that, people didn't want to. You know, these still, some people still have to drive, but that's just an extra push. That's just an extra incentive. It's just something that brings you up at a high level, your self esteem, and saying, you know, I'm more than just an ex slave. Man. So we have a rich history part of that, and things are changing, things are evolving. You know, like I said, you know, the world power, you know, our power, and our nation is trying to send billions of dollars on it. I think that's a good thing, like I mentioned earlier. And so what I'm getting, the point that I'm getting at is that we just need to um, try to harness that energy that's inside of us to keep us on that push and drive to be successful here and anywhere we go that we go. You know, and that's what I think. But you know, that misconception that you know, like I said, in those conscious rap music, I would hear things like KRS One would spit some jewels, and I'm like, what do you say this? Even with Nas, I had to listen to this guy and first six verses of almost every album, some song he says. You have to rewrite it like 10, 15, 20 times in order to even break everything down that he's saying. And so, in that kind of stuff, it's like that's what's and so, but we need to have our own, create our own books, which we do. We have authors that came before Columbus and things like that. We have who wrote books like those. So we have to be the authors of our history as well. You can't rely on mainstream. You can't allow everybody to provide us our history. We got to go out there and grab it ourselves. Okay. And so, like I said, the more people, you know, with my channel, a lot of people inspired. I'm inspired people just by walking on and say, "Come take a walk with me." Huh? Come take a walk with THC. People are inspired, you know, and they actually come. They want to take a walk with me. And so I always, you know, it's like, so we, on these channels, your platform, my platform is necessary. Okay. It's necessary to enlighten people to know, let them know what's going on. Not everybody's gonna watch it. Everybody gonna like it, but the ones who will watch it and probably like it, they probably change a little bit and then try to say, okay, this brother is 6 6 deep. That's why I like. That's why I like the channel. That's why I came on. I know I answered the question a long time ago, but that's what I said. I, I like what you do, and I just keep doing what you're doing. You know, and it's not about everybody. We're not about hate. It's about knowledge of self and learning who we are, and then we can be better, productive people in our society. Because if you don't know that knowledge, you don't have anything. You know, you basically reaching and grabbing, and you're never gonna get to where you want to go. You know, and I made a lot of good career decisions and stuff, and I did a lot of good things, and I'm blessed for that. You know, just my brother from East Side Long Beach and living in Africa. You know, what can I say? You know, I'm proud of that. You know, and I want everybody to get that opportunity. But go ahead, sister. I'm sorry. You know,
You good, you good, you
I haven't
good.
been really.
Wow.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, that's incredible, and I appreciate you coming on here. I really do, and
Mhm.
I'm glad that we had this dialogue because I can be able to learn a lot from not just you, but just the fact that you had this experience
Yeah.
actually going to the continent in itself, right? And just by me just studying, I mean, studying is great, but it's
Mhm.
nothing like having an actual experience
Yes.
and being around the people and learning. You know what I'm saying? Like you said before, you got to have an open mind
Yeah.
to want to learn different things and have a mind frame where you can go and travel to those countries and learn about the culture. You can't just go and do what you want to do. You can't have the American mindset because everybody's not going to accept the American way of doing things. You know what I'm saying? Yeah,
Mhm.
they know that you're American, but same thing, you're into another country, you're in another culture. So there's a way to actually maneuver around
Mhm.
and how to go about dealing with stuff. But you also see that, there are people who are influenced by, what we do in here in America, you know what I'm saying? Especially youngsters out there, you know what I mean? So, but at the same time, it's all about having a level of respect and having some understanding
Yes.
and going there with a whole purpose of being able to learn how to adapt into a different environment.
Yes. I agree.
So
Yes.
yeah, but yes, I really appreciate this a lot. I really do.
Thank you.
So I'm glad that you came on here. I'm glad that we had this dialogue, this conversation. Is there anything else you want to say before I close it out?
Yes, yes, my sister. Um,
Yeah.
uh, keep watching the news. Be alert, everybody. Uh, better start planning your move while you can. And I say this from my heart. 2025, there may be a war going on. It's already predicted. So get your go bag ready. Go at your playbook. Try to make your move. And people like myself and other brothers and sisters on the ground, hopefully we get organized. And maybe some other organizations will assist and help. And I think that with the moving and repatriation, buying land, building homes, and trying to establish, our roots there as well. I think this is a very big opportunity. Don't miss this opportunity. Okay, there's not too many opportunities. There's signs that's going on. People are spiritual. They got religious. You got all these type of things going on. Everybody read their Bibles. They read their Qurans, and you see about the major wars that's going on that is mentioned in those books. You know, the diseases, the plagues. On top of that, things are soon to be coming. So just keep that in mind. Stay spiritually awakened as you can and strengthened as you can. But like I said, me personally, I would try to get the heck out before 2025. 2024 may be the better time. Okay, but do what you can, the best you can. Be smart and be wise about it, and make prayer to action. And not to hate where you at, but there's other place that you can be safe doing some things that's going. You got balloons coming over. Who I'm telling you right now, who knows what could be next. Okay, I'm already leaving soon. Okay, I got about 30 days here or more or less. Who knows? I don't like to let everybody know my business, but I'll tell you this much: just keep watching the news, keep praying, and just do what you can. I'm gonna have a video coming out. I wasn't gonna do it, and I was so beat. I was so I don't want to. I felt like but I think it's necessary to assist you guys. I may have it on my members only instead of so public. I was thinking about doing it about the 12th month plan. I was gonna, I've been, I didn't want to do it halfway. I wanted to do it 100%. Especially getting out before 2025. Right. So I'm telling you right now, check out the news, check it out. As I said, I have a lot of experience as far as military and been in a long time when I was serving. I'm a civilian, I'm free, but I still think that I want you guys to, free in a funny way. You know what I'm saying? I was free when I was serving, but what I'm trying to say is that, keep that going and subscribe to the sister channel. Give her some love. She's on there. Sometimes even me, I may have one viewer. She may have one. It doesn't matter. The message is what she's trying to push and trying to instill in you guys. To make you guys wake up and get some more positive, get some more informative information, some information that's gonna be life changing to you. Okay, there's other things. If you listen to hip hop, listen to whatever, listen to some conscious stuff, listen to some stuff that's gonna really be positive. You know what I'm saying? We all are slaves to the Most High. We all are sinners. We all make mistakes. We're not perfect around here, everybody. I'm not trying to put I'm a perfect man. Like I said, I'm gonna show you different sides of me. I'm gonna show you the East Side Long Beach. Okay, I'm gonna show you the military, the educated professor part. I'm gonna show you the black conscious. I'm gonna show you the religious part. You're gonna see different sides of me because that's me. That's me, and I'm happy to be me. You know, and just like you guys watch our channel. Watch my channel. And that's all. I really do appreciate it. I'm humbled and honored that you even consider me to talk to me today on your live, and we ciphering. That's why I have the videos ciphering scrolls, and I may have open panels on that just to talk about positive, uplifting things about Africa and African diaspora and what we come from and what we can do, things like that. I don't like hate speech. I don't like this. I don't have nothing against white people. I don't have nothing against Mexicans, black, Asians. I'm worried about our situation and what we can do to better ourselves, one person at a time. Okay, and hopefully I inspire you guys to make that move over to the continent, like so many people have done, watching my videos, and I'm humble, and they keep asking me for assistance and calling me and things like that. Thank you so much, my sister. Thank you so much. God bless you.
Thank you for coming here. Like I said, make sure you guys like and subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell, and share the channel. If you like what you hear, make sure you check out all my other videos and all the other contents I have done on here. And till next time, you guys be safe, take it easy. So I want to give a shout out to the chat. Shout out to everybody in the chat that's coming in, that's watching. Shout out to what's the list name? Shout out to ATM Tim,
Yep.
Southern Creole Flavor, Montreal
Mhm.
on a Mission,
Yep.
Norman Richmond, Brother Kent. Shout out to Brother Kent, Brother Shadi Muhammad, Brother Jonathan. Shout out to Brother Jonathan, Chauncey, Bars and Chains Network. Just a few people, just to name a few names on here, and everybody else that's tuning in, watching. Thank you guys, and those of you that's just coming in, you have to watch the video from the very beginning to see what the subject is about. Okay, so till next time, y'all take it easy. Y'all be safe. Peace and power and elevation be to all of you. And salam alaikum to my brothers and sisters out there that's in the chat. And I will reconnect with you all later. All right, now. Let me see. All right, then. Thank you, brother Sadi. Thank you so much. Thank you for coming through. I really appreciate that. Thank you. All right. So y'all take it easy, and I will come up with some more topics, and I'll keep you guys posted. Peace. All right.